Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero site defender of the fatherland. Off here to a 1v1 on Pachino Stalemate. The North is the one, the only Imperial Dane himself, fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the Hermann-Göring Fallschirmpanzer shown here with Breakthrough as always. Straight to double pioneer, going to be a start. In the south is Integral Sweed, fighting here for America, Freedom, Democracy, the 91st Infantry Division. And he, of course, is going straight for Spec Ops. So we immediately got our battle groups here chosen. Moving out here with the pioneers each side here. Going to move up the center and secure the point here with some sandbags. Of course, if the opponent rushes this viewpoint, this can be a bit of a downside, but it actually happens rarely, in my experience. But of course, may become more common as people realize this. But anyways, as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters. Wonderful people, one and all. Helps keep the Propagandacast running with their generous support. It's a big thanks to every single one of those wonderful people. South here, right, Scotsman forts there. Got the Weasel heading northwards here. No third cal yet on that. Digging in by the northern munitions point, as that is a high munitions point. So obviously, I do want to try at least make it somewhat more defensible. Going to use his sandbagging by the center fuel. In the south, punishment the southern fuel. Otherwise, all quiet. Following up here with more Grenadier. Got the first Rob squad out here for Mr. Integral Swede. Still advancing up here, right behind the Church of St. Al of Pachino. Sandbags down there. Northern point mixes here. Got the 30 cal there being mounted on the Weasel, which was a vehicle basically meant for commander units, or like, you know, very flexible, you know, in terms of like all-terrain, and could also like be somewhat amphibious. That said, it apparently wasn't used that much by them. It was like used by a lot of other units as sort of like, you know, an all-terrain jeep, basically. Fun fact. There you go, Punish being shot at here. In the center there, Grenadiers clashing with the Ralph squad here. Second Grenadier squad, they're also pulling in. Pulling back here, like, trying to fight the Ralph squad and heavy cover in the Grenadiers here is not going to work out great for me, so I'm going to pop in here, maybe see if I can't bait them out into the open. Meanwhile, the second Grenadier squad can try and move northward here to put pressure on the Weasel there. Second Ralph squad arriving here from Integral Swede. And the second company, the Baker Company of the 91st Infantry Division. Meanwhile, Grenadiers are clashing with the M29 Weasel here, trying to keep that munitions point out of the hands of the Americans and in the MP40s. They obviously, if possible, wish to keep the high munitions point, as with Breakthrough and, you know, for example, assault grenadiers, never mind assault grenades and the sprint overs, like just everything in this battle group is so munitions intensive. You really, like, you know, want to keep the munitions flow going. Grenadiers here, caught by the Ralph squad out in the open here. Sweed striking back hard. In the center, the Ralph squad still watching over the Grenadiers. Have actually set them southwards to assist the pioneers in the south. He does want to secure the center, but honestly, as in many other cases, the center has less value, of course, with a few points of the mid-type near it to it. Obviously, a bit more value this time around, but at the same time, no, not enough. I feel like to like just keep a Grenadier squad there when I could be like making progress elsewhere on the sides. Weasel pulling back there for some quick fixing up there, bringing an MD42 team. A slight change to my build order here as of late. Trying out 2 grenadiers, 1 machine gun into Panzer Grenadiers here. Starting to form some slight theories on how to make best use of your heavy machine gun teams. And so far, one of them is you basically want 2 infantry squads out before going for any machine guns to back them up. So that way the machine gun is always there to support the infantry, basically acting as a support weapon. Grenadiers here, but being surrounded by the Ralph squad here. I was not expecting the Ralph squad here. I'm going to be a bit bold here and try and hold out here for the machine gun team to then move in from here to flank the Ralph squad here. I don't think Sweed is anticipating them activating the machine gun team to flank his Ralph squad here, which I'm actually a bit surprised on, but they're going to pop into the building just in case. Setting up there of North Pioneers, trying to finish off the Weasel, and I think this is actually what allows me to set the machine gun here, because he's trying to keep his Weasel alive, while I'm trying to like deal with them. So this sideshow here allows me to reposition the situation around the center into my favor, pushing back one Ralph squad here pretty rapidly. Got the Panzer Grenadier Company up here, and done. Pioneers routed. Machine gun give every positioning a bit here, I think, soon enough. As obviously he's going to like try and flank it or just get around it, so I'm going to reposition my machine gun set up elsewhere. South Pioneers make decent progress, laying down some mines here to, you know, make it hard for them to get the other high munitions point. So there you go, moving up here, except for Otto, who got stuck on that little fountain. Ambushing the Ralph squad here, tripping forcing. Panzer Grenadier close, but not quite there. Can also, of course, upgrade the other Grenadier squad as the MP40s, the Maschinenpistole in 40. Now in the Italian theatre, the Germans also make use of the M38 Beretta submachine gun, which was very popular with German troops, even with Italian troops, well, not Italian, but Allied troops. It was a very excellent submachine gun with just very, very good characteristics. Grenadiers being caught out in the open now by the M29 Weasel, pushing forward with the Grenadiers here. Machine gun caught repositioning against Rob Squad here. Pantherfast here almost taking out the Weasel. Grenade off on the Grenadiers here, so we do know he's got grenades here. Popping grenade in the machine gun. That set the Crow, I think, is spreading out enough to not get wiped by it. Rob Squad's pressed here. We've got guns caught here. The Rob Squad on flank here. Some pretty intense action. The Weasel is now, well, a burning Weasel. Grenades off here again. Grenadiers don't quite dodge it. Planny's from the centre. We finally got some panic grenades out a bit late for me, unfortunately. Got Rob Squad moving up on the flank here. Machine gun just repositioning, pulling in the wounded Grenadiers to buy our machine gun to crew some time to retreat in the south here. I'm busy grabbing points here. As for Sweed, we are seeing a push here for BARs. We also got the captain, so obviously looking here to push hard on the infantry approach here. Very much, I think, standard meta game. I mean, Mechanized is still popular with some, but for a lot of American players, if they go for the rifleman build, they will typically, you know, leverage hard the infantry support center in part for the captain, but also, like, you look to make upgrades so they can make the rifleman cheaper to upgrade with BARs, for example. Bring in the Panthers against the Rifle Squad there. Enforcements here, getting the medical station on the way there. Versus opponent, again, I'm likely expected to go for BARs. I'm not quite as heavily expected to push straight away for the Stug 3G. I'll, of course, still be going for it, because, you know, Sturmgeschütz über alles. Rifle Squad pushing forward, so now we got the BAR push here for Integral Sweed, of course, increasing pressure on me. Got the Panthers moving about here, making use of the train here. South side, Swede, and the 91st Infantry are pushing forwards. Machine gun good to go, Grenadiers, Pioneers as well. Smoke bombs here. Can always be handy for supporting both an assault or a retreat. Don't know if I actually get to use it this battle though. Pumping forward Grenadiers as well. Finding around the fuel point here as Swede pushes through the village or town centre here. Rob Squad there pushed down the open. South here, machining gewehr. They're a bit on its own. This is honestly fairly risky, though not as risky if, say, I've been up against Pathfinders with, you know, smoke packages and all that, or utility packages. He's, in fact, going for one now. Still need to be careful about this. This is, quite frankly, very risky for me. Grenade assault here, trying to flash them out. Turns out some of the Grenadiers aren't quite as good as Frank, but this turns out in their favour as the Rifle Squad takes several losses from that. Up north, their points have been grabbed quite safely, though obviously, at the same time, I'm kind of designating two entire infantry squads for this, which is like, you know, more than half of my infantry at the moment, so this isn't actually necessarily too optimal there for me. Go push back the Rifle Squad here. Grenade there, and this building is getting just pummeled with grenades. Absolutely slammed with explosives. Metal station up there. Rifle Squad pushing forwards here for Swede. Quickly switching to secure the southern half of the map. Here's some securing the north side. Very good plays there. Got SSF commanders out here. Of course, increasing us firepower significantly here. Catching my punt guns here. We got mines being laid down here. Moving up all the grenades up towards the center to assist here. But yeah, with bars and the commanders here, this engagement on my pentagon is going to go pretty rubbish. I do try for a bomb grenade. He just dodge it, but overall, not the best engagement. My pants just get pushed back without really doing anything. So it's just a waste of manpower for me there. Well punished by Swede. Good instinct for the south here. Should definitely get those healed up. But overall, the engagement kind of goes a bit sour. I do get the mine down, so I'm kind of falling back here, hoping to maybe bait them into the mine and that way counter the back. Up north, machine ringing against the scouts. Finally got the Stug 3G on the move there, by the way. Finally. Sweet there, moving through the center here with a full force of infantry, commanders, and riflemen there, striking hard for freedom. In the south, Hickon is catching the captain here. Quickly hit up there using the med kit, which can now heal while they are moving. Couldn't before, which was definitely a bit awkward. So Swede here, and the Americans rapidly advancing, getting quick control of the victory points against me as well. Good focusing. We actually got... Is that sprint? Does it pour on them? Grenade assault here, trying to flash them back, but ends up being kind of waste of munitions there by me. There we go, mine goes off, killing only one commander by the looks of it. Got the Sturmgeschütz finally ready, though a bit short on the munitions. Machine gewehr there, kind of forgot. That is definitely suboptimal by me. Fresh pushing some of the punts of the Pioneers, going for the commanders here. Infantry being dodged in as well, they'll hold in. More gunnies plans moving in. Yeah, I just had to retreat. This was definitely not a well-pushed attack here. Should have occupied the building first to scout ahead. Stug rolling ahead here. Finally get the machine gun moving there. Sturmgeschütz to the captain here. Fun fact, after the losses of Stalingrad and, you know, North Africa, they actually removed a Panzer battalion from each Panzer division, but typically what they do actually, I think, up to like mid-1940s, they then substitute that Panzer battalion with a Stug battalion, basically. So they sort of kept it, but it was just Stugs instead of Panzers. Fun fact. Fun fact. Ralph kept moving up here in the center again. Gunnies moving up here. Now, without a machine gun or some more high explosives, that's going to be tough. And there we go. I do have a machine gun there. Certainly making this a much tougher defense here to manage for him. Grenades into the building there. Captain we actually got two SS commanders out here for Sweed. Popping white phosphor with the machine gun. Nice throw here. Gunnies suddenly find themselves unsupported. So that definitely makes things tougher for me there with two commando squads. The Sug, of course, is having none of this. And immediately opens up the commandos. With both main gun and machine gun, rapidly gunning down those Yankees. Few bazooka hits here. Up north here we got Panzers, the rifle squad here, backed up the Pioneer. Center there is definitely a hotbed of American activity here. As the 91st Infantry Division is having none of this. Heading southwards here, splitting up my forces a bit. They, instead of committing more forces in the center, up north, or at least somewhere, lost my Pioneer squad. Got grenades being exchanged with the Grenadiers and the Panzer Grenadier here. Too slow than my Panzer Grenadiers ended up suffering quite a bit of damage. I also unlocked the mechanized assault group, but I don't think I end up using it. Bit of a shame. So, definitely some harsh blows inflicted on me by Integral Sweed. A fierce blow there. Going for the second Stug. Because, you know, if you're going to go for one, you definitely want two, in my experience. In part because they can sort of, shall I say, afford you some kind of early armor shock. Valtko going for the fuel point here, looking, of course, to slow down my fuel income. Very simple, we of course see by Integral Sweed. Bring in the machine gunners, we're going to need to try and flush out the Yankees from the north. That said, I am struggling with a lack of infantry, in particular as Integral Sweed is bringing in more infantry. I desperately need more troops of my own. Definitely should bring in some Panzer Grenadiers. Well, in theory, I could go for the mechanized assault group, but I need to move on for 3 to 4 infantry squads. 3 is definitely not enough, in particular with an opponent with so much infantry himself. Like, he's got a captain, 2 rifle squads, minimum, actually 3 I think, plus the 2 commando squads. That is a large amount of infantry from my opponent. I'm only trying to match up with like 2 Grenadier squads and a Panzer Grenadier squads. There's definitely a bit of disparity there, which I need to resolve soon. Stug, they need repairs. Heading the point in the south here. Captain does the Grenadiers in the south. Players and smoke against the machine gun. Stug going up. And going here for the Panzer Grenadier officer quarters. Always a handy upgrade to have. Both your Stugs and your Panzer in the south here. The captain is getting, well, a nice tombstone for himself, I suppose. Panzer aiming forwards. Up north you can see again the commanders with the rifle coming in there. Nasty little assault group here. Stug rushing in. Lacking the pillar machine gun here. Of course I do have the point blank blast. Loads of high explosive rounds! Jawohl! I want to see the Americans all across that road! Good. There we go. Nasty hit and the point blank blast is quite good, in my opinion. Sometimes it does fizzle, but a lot of the time it can really like just rip through an infantry squad and they're bunching up. It can like really hurt them. But so far, Sweden is leading hard on the victory points here in the south. We've got American troops moving forwards, swiftly gobbling up the south. Stug pursuing the Americans here. Machine guns setting up here, getting quickly outmaneuvered here. Not the best setup there. I'm actually bringing a second MG42 here to support my Torpen, though I probably should have gone for another infantry squad before going for the second MG42 here. Starting to sort of gain a theory that for every 2 infantry squads you can bring in a machine gun team. So like, you know, say 2 Grenadier squads, 2 Panzers, you can then have like 2 machine guns. But there you go, another point blank blast here. Really doing heavy damage there to Swede's men. Sent secured here by Deutschland. The Stugs supporting the Panzers to clear the town center of the Americans. leaving Sweed a bit there uncomfortable. Got the tank depot on the way. In the southeast, Sweed is quick to exploit my move on the center to gobble up the south there. Very good. Got artillery called in here. I believe that is the captain's mortar barrage you use there. Yep. Can call in the mortar barrage for free. It does have a bit of a cooldown.
Enemy forces have captured a victory point.
Stu being pushed southwards. Still forgot to... Oh, haven't got the machine gun in part because I keep having to use point blank blast. And these are the commanders. White Fuss with their Chuck or Willie Pete. Machine gun to support the punt gun of DC. In the south, we got the other machine gun to support the gun of DC. Cloud squad caught with the machine gun there. And now we got the Yankees spot down there by the Stoogs. In the center here, Captain Commanders pushing back on the Pioneers. Sweet there. Still some time before any armor. And we got just the Stoogs barreling down upon those of 14 riflemen there. Far up north here, terrain being secured here. The machine gun backing up my two infantry squads here, of course. Nice base of fire there. Only one infantry squad to support the south, but at least have two Stoogs to compensate. Moving in, securing the center. Of course, I could theoretically try and launch like a pincer from the north and from the south, and that way squish out the Americans in the center.
We have lost control of a victory
Reinforcements feeling here for Sweed. There we go, second Panzer Grenadier Squad.
Panzer Grenadier Squad standing by.
There we go. Some more hardened infantry to take on the Yankees. Note, by the way, Sweed's actually making really nice maneuvers, actually going for deep flank around here, moving around the hill and attacking into the rear here. Cause my Grenadiers ground the point spotted line, which I'm the machine gun to deal with that. Well, in this case, we're actually in the Panther to assist, being the machine gun to deal with the advancing Americans head on. Captain pushing for the victory point, or fuel point there. Got the Grenadiers, the Panthers moving up here. I actually used the mechanized assault to get the Panthers over there rapidly. And suddenly, situation looking less great there for Sweed. The scouts are already scouting a pack half back. You got more infantry moving up here as the situation gets heated up here. Pioneers from the block. Stooks moving to the Americans there. Backed up by the M42 team. Got the machine here just providing further fire support up north here. Grenades on the rifle squad. Blasting through it. Several men quite dead and beyond. Second part squad now rushing in here with its mechanized assault here to assist the machine gun crew, but it is too late. But not too late for the Stooks to come charging in, rolling up here for the main road. Sweed here, they're putting up fierce fighting here. We got White Fossils and the Pentagon of the DC.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Got that Stoog moving in there. Second one's still not upgraded. Got the Commander rushing forwards here. We got in his field point, returning the favour to him finally. Infantry falling back, rifle squad doing what it can up north here. Flipping around here, this burned out orchard. Got rapid production. And there we go, we finally got some armoured from Sweed. Got ourselves an M18 Hellcat tank destroyer. I was actually not expecting that. Typically most American players would just, go for Sherman. So it's an interesting move here by Integral Sweed to push for the M18 Hellcat tank destroyer. Clearly looking to surprise most Stooks and just wreck them, utilizing its combination of high speed and just high DPS there. Scout Captain's going to do see. I'm also taking up here, pushing for the Panzer Company, partly to get some armored side skirts among Stooks, to help deal with all these bazookas, but also to, get some Panzer IVs out to assist my Stooks. And maybe some Starstorben. Actually on the center here. I just retreat here as I don't want to risk losing my machine gun to something silly. Rifle squad in the middle of the street here, getting gunned down by the Panthers who get a grenade through the window, but just results in even more ruined interior there. Going up for the south here. Sweet launch another assault in the center here. Panthers fighting here between the houses. Some rather intense urban action for such a small town. Stooks on the move here. Pumpkin is supporting. Gunny's moved north, backed up with that machine gun gewehr. About to land in here, and what happened to that grenade? They just literally vanished.
We have finished the research.
Into thin air. Fair enough. We got the armored Sartgers on the Sturmgeschütze. Still haven't upgraded the other one, by the way, with the pinlight machine gun. I really should get that going. There you go. Men of the 91st moving to secure the center again. In the south here, we got the Pioneer spotted by the Commander squad here. And he calls in a third one, pulling up to a total of 3 SSF commanders. That is a lot of commanders. I mean, they're quite expensive, but for what you do get on pay, you do get some serious value with both the light machine guns and the bazookas on a fairly like solid 6-man infantry squad there. But yeah, not something I was expecting them to, like, to push for like 6 of these.
Blitzkrieg tactics are available for vehicle crew.
Blitzkrieg on Nox, moving up here, machine gun there supporting the center. While now supporting North, active for his northern fuel point here. He's clearly a bit hesitant about using that Hellcat. But I think part of the issue here for Sweed is actually just keeps focusing moving through the center, like he doesn't like take any paths for the north or for the south here. Like he's intent on now moving through here, which makes it a bit easier to, like, you know, figure out how he's moving. But also makes it harder for him to surprise me in return. South here, the big push here by Sweed. Lone Pants would like to dam up this American offensive there. Good push here. There's wing up, we got the commands wing up here. Trying to advance in the center. We got white phosphorus grenades being chucked around here. That's not quite working out the way he wants to. In the meanwhile, we got a route squad flanking around here. Using the gains made in the south tactic to get around here in the west side of the town. Thumbs up there. Very sharp tactical there by Sweed. It's quite interesting to see, like, just how the map control shifts from time to time here as it looks to gain the upper hand. I do think that's one of the interesting things about Pachino Stalemate. It's just like how you can sort of like play the map depending on like what part of the map you actually hold. It's quite interesting for me personally. I do think it's one of the reasons I find Pachino Stalemate is like one of the better maps currently in the 1v1 map pool alongside Road to Tunis. Slow this thing up for that Panzer IV there. Swedes commanders moving to about the town centre here for the 91st Infantry Division. Commanders are getting blast hit from the Stuke right into the face. I still forget to upgrade the machine gun gewehr there. That's definitely not something I should be doing there. Again, the machine guns do add some good anti firepower. Gun is moving in here from one side. Route on top of the Panzer Grenadiers here. Infantry being blasted inside this, I don't know, small walled garden. I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to be, but whatever it is, it's bombarded. Pulling the Stuke here for point blank blast. Second Stuke also moving in, and there we go, just utter carnage as countless commandos get the anti treatment and get absolutely obliterated. Stuke's there pursuing the M18 Hellcat here. Didn't wipe any of the commander squads, but they certainly have seen much better days. And now we got a Sherman supporting 91st Infantry Division. Got a Panther for the rate support here. The Hammond Göring Fallschirm Panzer Division. We got the cap moving up, or commanders moving up there in the south. Machine gun gewehr and some infantry making progress there. Moving in, more grenadiers, Panzer to assist around the center to assist the Stuke, so definitely in some deep shizer. There we go, Panther 4 and the machine gun pushing back the commander squad. We got the Hellcat moving up here, Sherman moving in as well here. Pretty fierce fighting here at the western entrance to the town of Pachino. Panther Force moving in here, Stuke getting blasted by the Hellcat, Panther Force pushing forwards. Panther Force being attempted on the American tanks here. And we can see this integral Swedish just desperately trying to hold his armor out of there, but it's not quite working. The Panther Faust and the pursuing Panther 4 here result in a total loss on the M18 Hellcat here for integral Swede and the 91st Infantry. Up north, Route Squad trying to push forwards, but it's right into all these armored units here. Penalty being added to the Panther 4. Still none on the Stuke here. He's trying to get pop the anti-tank grenade, but he's getting blasted into oblivion in his forced retreat here. Meanwhile, fresh push up the center. Commanders, infantry, scouts, rifle, just everything in a hodgepodge here being pushed up the center here. Looking to take advantage of all my damaged tanks with the machine guns and the infantry, plus the still somewhat operable Panther 4 makes this a very difficult proposition for integral Sweed there. Like, he better off like trying to flank around for the south or the north of the town rather than straight through it. And there we go, he keeps out the attack here. Panther gun is bringing into the ruins there. The ruined part of the church here. Grenades being chucked, white phosphorus unleashed. Panther Faust and the Sherman here. But integral Sweed is undeterred. It looks like he's going to keep up the assault here. He wants those armored elements here. I'm also going for the officer quarters here on the infantry company, so I can activate my machine guns, pioneers, and of course the grenadiers to make sure the veterans won, but also make sure the veterans get faster here. Commanders there being shredded by all the machine guns, except for the one I still forgot to upgrade because, you know, I'm apparently a complete clown. Moving up here, run to the Panther for the Stuke. Gonna use forts, machine gun they're providing critical support as well there. And integral Sweed commanders are just getting absolutely commanded into the dirt. So yeah, having multiple machine guns can prove quite handy.
Upgrade complete.
Can't use how to work here. Victory points wise, Integral Sweed has still a good lead over me, but he's definitely struggling in a few other areas. North East catching Rav Squad here.
Enemy have taken our territory.
And I'm slowly moving towards a Tiger tank. Ugh. Gonna easy around it by the Rav Squad. No mercy here from Integral Sweed's men. I'm also grabbing points here closer to my opponent's base. They're trying to put a bit of pressure on them. Machine in the south here, getting a bit on his own. Again, not super advisable. What the opposite of anything. Stuke forwards here, veteran C2, Panther forming forwards, half HV 2 and the other one is also veteran E2. We got a bit of artillery support called in here. Again, I imagine it's the captain just calling in artillery there. Hoping to get lucky.
We are down to 200 points.
This is Captain Joe. Josen, try calling in artillery there. I think there might be some Germans. Do you have visual confirmation? No. I just hear something that isn't American. I mean, it could be Italians, but who cares? And for this one, the Rav Squad. Last one with this mighty main gun and machine guns there. Up north, we got another clash between his Rav Squad. And we got a full-on commander blob here to appear from a Integral Sweed. He's done asking nicely. Now he just wants those goddamn crap panzers to die. Up north here, can these Rav Squad continue to find out here. South here, Punch catches a bunch of infantry there. Quick mechanized assault there. And moving forwards, and there goes spotting the entire lot of American commanders backed up by the captain.
Command points must be assigned.
Punches up there as well. Like he's just daring the Panther to land some great hits, and I'm moving in the Stuke here. While I'm remaining around the center, and I still haven't upgraded. Oh dear, this is embarrassing. And moving forward to getting hammered the bazookas, but someone survives now. We've got the Stuke up close, threatening a point-blank blast. At this point, Integral Sweed knows that if the Stuke comes at him, he gets out of there. German there trying to push up here through the... behind the houses, but we've got the Stuke moving up behind him. Pushing through the back alleys here of Pachino and blocking the retreat of the Sherman. He did not see that one coming. They never do. And with that, his Sherman is kaput.
Our adversary is down to 250 points.
South Gun is pushing forwards there, close to veteran E3. Panther 4, though, is in heavy need of repairs. At this point, I pretty much got almost all of the officer quarters except for the one on the Panzer Company here. I don't feel a great need for it because, like, I got one Panzer 4, so there's not really a lot of immediate need for it, particularly when I'm going basically for a Tiger tank at this stage, so it kind of ends up being redundant. And so that one's really, like, the only faction where, like, you know, you can have, like, you know, upgrades that affect, you know, even the calling units, but for the Wehrmacht, none of them ever do. You know, you can't, like, you know, they don't benefit from the Panzer officer quarters or any of the other quarters upgrades, like, unless they're sort of basically units that sort of side call in, like the half-track and the Starstorm, but, like, say, Fatschemegas, Tigers, whatnot, do not benefit from any officer quarters upgrade. I mean, but, like, you know, armor upgrades, you know, for the DAC will, you know, affect, like, you know, the Italian tanks and whatnot. There you go, he's still at it with the Commando Bazooka blob there. Light machine gun blob at this point. In the south here, fresh push by the 91st Infantry Division, a mix of engineers, Rav Squad there, and the captain. Launching assault, we've got one machine there in this on defense. Stuke's Panther 4 being repaired up north. Large assault here. Note again, like the way he's attacking from like multiple angles. So that's pretty much a forced retreat from a machine gun. Good push there by Integral Sweed. Got a wave of commanders flying and expecting, of course, a German armoured counterattack here. Very sensible too. And he's going for more Hellcats. More tank destroyers. Machine gun about here. Problem is, I can't really use any of these buildings. I feel like I could actually probably use this one, but these ones are sort of the ones I sort of more notice, and if I tried to stick the machine gun, I'd like to lose them. There you go, route going to the machine gun here, quickly suppressed. Punch to the Panther full support here, push with the route squad there, absolutely slamming those Yankees. And we got the M18 Hellcat rushing forwards here. Fun fact about the Hellcat, it was actually the only used tank destroyer to have a specific, like, purpose-built chassis. Like, pretty much every other used tank destroyer just used something else, like, you know, existing, and just slap, like, you know, gun on it, like, you know, the M10 and the M36. Looks I'm just used a Sherman chassis. That's the basis for them. But there you go, Panther 4, Panther's attacking from one side, Stutzman from the other side. Here's I'm trying to launch a Pinzer of my own here, backed up a Panther Grenadiers here, and Grenadiers from the north as well. Last machine gun there being held back, plus some Grenadiers. And yeah, at this point, I'm just gonna, like, you know, play it a bit safe, just trying to absorb his attacks here as I push for that Tiger. At least try not to be too reckless. And of course, I move in and aim for the assault because, yeah, I've got a few surprises up my sleeve. In this case, I'm actually gonna pop the Blitzkrieg. Deutschland vorwärts. Panther charging in, the Stuks backing up here. Crashing through walls here. Surprising there. Sweed's Hellcat. Meanwhile, the Panther 4 goes for focus fire as well. The further increasing the firepower. The Stuks charge at the Hellcat. Panther 4 there, just slamming away infantry. And the Hellcat's turret goes flying as the Stuk cooks off the munitions. Commanders there about to get wiped out, but they knock out the Panther 4 first. But can the Stuks? Yes, the Stuks secure the wipe, and I still haven't upgraded the other Stuk with a machine gun. Great shame. In the center here, though, infantry from the north here, but are halted by the Grenadiers here. And I'm seconds away from a Tiger tank. Seconds. And I got a Stuk at the ace level 2 of that. 17 infantry kills. And then go Tiger tank around from the 504th Schwerer Panzerabteilung.
Our infantry will be reinforced automatically.
Wrecking the anti-tank with mein Sturmgeschütz. Also got one Ace Panther Grenadier squad here. Both machine guns are actually two. Again, officer quarters does help a bunch there actually. First assault by the 91st Infantry to kill the center here. Just moving up, we got another Hellcat out here for integral Sweed. Funniest body of the Ralph's got the pop engineers. Quickly right, I think I was actually trying to lay down some mines here, but obviously I had to drop that one. Stuk then he repairs, got the target advancing, Panther's riding along on it. I mean, might as well. That's it. Already encountering here, they're quickly popped off again. And we got the Hellcat rushing straight in. We got the Stuks now got them flank in from the south here of the town to flank the Jacks of the Hellcat. Alongside the Tiger tank, got the A-Stuk that's heavily damaged in the assault here. Got lucky there with the Hellcat. Tiger narrowly missed here. We got Route Squad there. Panther was the Route Squad here. Grenades going off. Panther's actually taking a nasty hit from the anti-tank grenade there as well, I think. Oh, apparently, no, it killed its own. Oh, God. Talk about friendly fire. And it proceeds to do the same with the Stuk. God im Himmel. I don't know who that Tiger commander is, but I think he should have gone to the Waffen-SS. He is way too reckless. Yeah, they wanted me to go to the Waffen-SS, but apparently the Waffen-SS did not want me. They thought I was too over-eager. Can you believe that? North of Route Squad pushing forwards. Tiger tank moving in here now. Backed up the gun is the machining gewehr. We got 188 versus 79 here. The pressure on integral Sweed is growing, but he's mostly able to like keep his infantry alive. The issue's mostly just like, you know, his armor. He's just not able to like build up his army. He might have been quite able to keep my Stuks alive. Even if I damn well keep forgetting to upgrade the machine gun. Like literally that only Stuk's now the only thing I haven't added a pin on that machine gun to. It's really embarrassing. Hellcat there snapping a few shots away there.
We have lost the sector.
Here's the Rough Squad here. Machine gun there covering the center. We got the commanders launching north of the D with a lone Panther squad up here, would appear. Finally fixed up the Ace Sturmgeschütz. Going in to repair my Stuk and my Tiger. 75 points left on the integral Sweed. That pressure is increasing here on him. Setting up with the Grenadiers again. No, but I bet you if they actually get extra health, similar applies to the Panther Grenadiers are now like 130 compared to like 115s. Like they do get like some fairly like good buffs that can get them to veteran flee. Meanwhile, fresh assault here from Integral 3 on the center, also flanked in the north from the commands again. Very nice use of smoke here. And infantry tactics by Integral 3, 2 thumbs up. Excellent infantry tactics, if anything, but there you go. Point blank blast, misses it would seem, or maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, that whiffed, unfortunately. Bravo squad flanking up here, we got the other Stugming and the TIE tank pushing up in the center. Infantry there, bit depleted. Here we got the Hellcat going up, here going for the Ace Stug, we got the Stug nearby. Point blank blasting again, as soon as he sees it, he just gets out of there. Hey Carl, I got a bad feeling about this, Stug. I think we need to leave. TIE tank on the move here. Hellcat rushing through here, Panther being routed. Pioneer squad wiped out, and if anything, I think that might have been the Tiger tank that actually wiped them, because again, this guy's nuts. Stug slot's being knocked out, he command Tiger tank flanking up in there, go, the Stug goes down, quite a blow there to Deutschland. Far up north, he's being routed here, we got 2 Hellcats flying out here for him.
Pioneers standing by.
More Pioneers out there, and these machine gun being hold up. Leading one in the south here.
The enemy has only 50 points left.
Integral Signaling secured the northern half of the map here. The bombed out Orchard and more. Sending in the TIE tank out machine gun and Grenadiers here. Stug there waiting repairs. And here actually I think I end up making a bit of a critical mistake. I just dive in too hard here with a lone Tiger tank with light support here against my opponent. At this point I'm actually, for some reason I didn't register the second Hellcat, so I only think he's got 1. This is a critical mistake by me. I'm even going hard here with Blitzkrieg, so I really mess up here actually. Big mistake by me. I should just waited for the Stug to get ready, then push in with it. But for some reason I thought again that there's 1 Hellcat, I can get away with it. And so of course, Sweed of course sees my mistake and he of course immediately rushes in to punish me. Well done by Integral Sweed here. Do have the Stug on the way there, but it's kind of running late to the party here. 25 points left for Sweed here. Hellcats, they're just relying on the speed here, and the Hellcats were quite speedy tankers, so there you go. Tiger tank knocked out. Hellcat knocked out. Stug going for the other Hellcat. Doesn't get it. Machine and give aim for pushing for the northern point here. We got a Browning left behind there. Send a front to the commandos. Got those commandos on the move flying with the Johnson. Got another M18 Hellcat rushing up here for Sweed right at the other Stug here. North here, infantry being mauled at. Stug there, there's the Hellcat. Punters the Rav, or Cat Commander squad there. Punters here, there's the Rav squad there. Stug, they almost got the Hellcat, but it's going about quite fast here. The terrain though is helping out the Stug, as he can't rely on his speed as well there, due to again being stuck against the rock wall here, and they both blew each up at the end there. There you go, GG. Hell of a fight here in the end. Hell of a fight. Well played by Integral Sweed. Was close at times, but those Stugs, I would say, proved to be pivotal. I know some players don't have much stock in Stugs, but personally, I know Stugs are good. So there you go, GG, game over. Like, he definitely got some value out of those commanders, but the Rifleman really altered it some damage. Hellcats, I think, were also pretty good there. Comparatively for me, the Stugs were true champions. Tiger Tank, though, didn't quite do as much, and I think it still was pretty good. The Pantherful, I mean, just for a single Pantherful, did really well too. That was just me just getting over greedy with the Tiger Tank, then infantry-wise. The Grenadiers, like, you know, could do pretty good with the MP40s and some bit of veterancy. Machine Gun Assembly did quite well. Of course, the Panther was just, again, really, really good. So, there you go, though. Again, I think there's some nice back and forth action between me and Integral Sweed. Good, I think, focus on maneuver here, which again, I think is one of those reasons I like Pachino Stalemate in a good match. You really get some good maneuver fighting here. The Stugs can prove pivotal. But also, I think just having another machine gun as the match went on allowed me to help sort of control the otherwise large infantry masses that Integral Sweed relied on. I think in this regard, Integral Sweed just kind of fell a bit short because he didn't have any support weapons, no machine guns, no mortars, And also, like, the Hellcats were nice versus my specific armor, but, limited his ability to support his infantry versus, like, hard points, like, say, the machine gun. So I think there's some issues there with the force composition of Integral Sweed that, in part allowed me to pull through there. So, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. I hope it gives you some matches. If it is subscribe, like, share, comment, consider donating or pledging on Patreon, support the Glorious War effort. It's another great way to help me out, and I'll let you know if you like want to see me watch about the game. You can just want to link in the comments using the code CoH3. So, thank you all for joining in, and see you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.